And boom, here we go, people. Hello, we are here. Katie Stack, Lilla Rogers. Let's see if we did this right. Type in where you are. Type in the chat where you are. We've got all kinds of good stuff to talk to you about today. And I wonder if the chat's working.
Yeah, last time we had to activate it. Someone put in the Q&A, it wasn't working.
Oh,
Hopefully we did it right this time.
looks like it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Type in
Oh
where,
yeah, we have people who are here.
yeah,
So we're
but
good.
can
Welcome
they get, yeah,
everyone.
welcome.
Yeah, Rika said.
Oh, good, Rika. Hello. Hello from Nebraska. Nebraska. Oh, Taylor. Oh, um, hello, everybody. We're really happy to be here. We love this vehicle. It's just a chance for us to share. I have to explain something. So this morning, I wrote this on like Instagram or Substack. Oh yeah, I want to talk about yesterday I picked the winner for um, Uppercase Magazine. Do you all know Uppercase Magazine? Uppercase Magazine. I picked the what? There are like a few different companies that get to pick a winner, and I pick a winner, and they get my creating collections for home decor course.
What was the contest for?
Um, Patterns and
Ooh.
prints, print and pattern, and then also they get a collection with Wyndham Hill. Or is
Nice.
that the name of it? Wyndham, not Wyndham Hill. That was an old record company from the hippie days, just Wyndham. Anyway, it's really cool. Hello, Jen. And yay. So here's the thing. So I thought about I want to talk about that, and then I want to talk
hmm
about I forget what the other thing was, and then we just talked about like procrastination.
Big
So
topic.
there's a lot I want to talk about.
You were
That's the,
talking about all the packing you were doing for your Portugal trip,
oh yeah.
all the fun things.
Mm-hmm.
I asked if she was going to have to bring a whole extra suitcase of stuff.
And the answer is yes. That's what I did for the lettering retreat,
Mm.
but that's fine. Then I can stuff it to the gills. But it was really fun because it's about how do you want to motivate each day. You want to demonstrate content to artists each day, paint and show technique or medium or something, and mixing color and nuance and the brush and different papers, different paint brands. But you don't want to overwhelm. You want to give
Mm.
like just enough dessert so they're hungry for the dessert and then they sit and work, but not overwhelmed. And as you're a teacher, I'm a teacher, we
Mm. That's
understand.
exactly what I was thinking.
Mhm. You can't
Yeah.
you can't overwhelm people, but you can't bore them. So, I have to control myself for not throwing in everything in the world.
But it's so nice to have that format
Mhm.
because too much choice, like you're saying, is just paralyzing. You want to make some
Right.
art, right? You sit
Hmm.
down and you can do anything you want. And then you don't
Unless
do
you're 5.
anything.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
My
Unless you
5-year-olds can do
they have no
anything they
problem with
want
that.
in the kindergarten room.
But
But
having
they're
choice is so
volunteer.
important. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Like structure, like give structure. But anyway, so that's the color course in Portugal. And that is March 25th on uptrack.com. And there's still room in there, so hop on. It's going to be amazing. I'm sending the cards, uploading. So everybody gets a deck of 25 cards. They get 5 cards a day for the first 5 days. And then they draw. It's like the color class here, but all different images in their cards. What did we have for lunch? How do you know we had lunch? Do you
Did we
see
leave
it?
anything back there?
That's funny.
There is one chocolate left.
Oh, yeah.
We did have a delicious
Oh,
lunch.
my email. Oh, right, right, right. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Portugal,
Portugal.
packing.
Yeah.
Um, and now I'm thinking about how I'm forgetting and I'm live, and you can't forget when you're on live. So, you see, that's a creative brain for you,
Mm.
right?
But there's
So,
two of us. So between the two of
I
us,
think one
hopefully,
of us will remember
yeah.
what the
Yeah.
tangent
And
was.
if not, then we'll just go to a question that somebody's put in the chat,
Yeah, put a
right?
question
So
in, people. Okay, so how do I pick? So there were 700 entries for this competition. And I'm going to tell you a few secrets for how people judge. And
Mm.
it's exactly how I would pick an illustrator to represent. You're looking for, as you're scrolling through the images, you see competency, you see drawing ability, you see color, and that's the baseline. Then I look for, what do you think I look for? Originality.
Mm.
Something where I will remember that person, I will remember that work more than, and obviously I can't tell you who I picked because that's for publication, but more than something that is too generic, even if it's good and competent. And I want to tell you all this, be as original as you can. Well, Lilla, how do I do that? Okay, great. Be original in my art. It means having the chutzpah, the nerve to try things, to take risks, even if it comes out not so great. I was just drawing some birds and I just did them a bunch of times till I got one I liked. And then I did that on good paper. And then I didn't like it. I did another on good paper, you know? Um, oh, Greg. So it's just a matter of having the nerve and the guts to, you know what? I just want to draw sewing machines today.
Mhm.
Oh, and then push it. Wait a minute. I'm going to draw vintage sewing machines. Wait, I'm going to go to like a sewing machine store in town that has vintage typewriters. Actually, we have a typewriter store. I don't know what it
Really?
is, if it's money laundering. I don't know what, but yeah, we have a vintage typewriter store.
Wow.
I think I'm going to go there and take pictures and then ask some questions. And then I'm going to come and draw it. Or maybe I'll sketch there and I'll chat with the guy. Like, follow your, that's the beauty of the ADHD mind or the creative mind or the passion-based learner mind. Go thing to thing to thing, but then stop and do the work. And then once you've decided it's vintage typewriters, then do that. And then you're going to come home and you're going to be painting vintage typewriters and you're going to say, oh, this sucks. I was so excited. I was going to post this on Instagram. It was going to be so beautiful. And now I hate it. Okay, that's temporary. Here's the continuum. You're right here and it sucks right here. Keep going. Start another piece or well, we'll talk about that too. That's why I give my kindergartners one piece of paper. They don't get to have more.
Hmm.
And, but it's because I love them, not because I mean. Stay with the piece, do sketches, come back, change it in Photoshop, do each part separately and put it together. So in the beginning part, you want your mind to be free, and in the second part, you want to stay focused so you complete a piece.
Mm.
Right? Type in the chat. Does that resonate? Hello, Lena and Jan and Kristen and Taylor,
So I'm
Angela. Yeah.
picturing this like a funnel. So at the top, there's like
Yes.
all these ideas going in,
Yes.
and you kind of have to think about a lot of different adjectives.
Mhm.
Is it vintage? Is it, you were talking about color, right?
Okay.
So you're like putting all these things in the
Oh,
top.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
then as you go down the process, you have
Hmm.
to keep getting more and more narrow. And then
Yeah.
that gets it to this original point
I
that you're
love
talking
that
about.
funnel. So, okay, what would we put in? Like you said, color. That's right. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm thinking lots of black and white for the keys and sepias and like very neutrally, maybe. And then, but the person who owns the place, I thought it was a man in my imagination, but it's actually a woman who's very round and has like hot pink vintage
Oh,
dress on with an apron,
okay.
and that way I can put in my pink color.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because thinking about vintage, we tend to think about these really neutral colors, right? Things
Right.
that aren't as vibrant
Mm-hmm.
as some commercial work today.
Mm-hmm.
But adding
She,
that hot pink makes it
right.
original, makes it you,
Oh, and she's
right?
got an apron on that's all vintage because,
Yeah.
she's like vintage obsessed.
Mm. I got to go to the
But she has a
store.
cell phone. I'm making this up. I mean,
Oh,
no, the store's real.
okay.
We'll
But not the
go, but not
person.
the person. The
Okay.
person I'm making up just so I can
Got it. Got
put
it.
in like a vintage
Yeah, yeah,
apron.
yeah.
And she has a cell phone, maybe. So it's like modern
Mm-hmm.
versus. So that's like a point of view. And then,
Mm-hmm.
like, how do we feel about this person? And this is so fun, by the way. So, how do we feel about, like, what is our point of view on this in your funnel?
Well, I would be, as we're like going down the funnel, all
Mm,
these ideas can't fit, right? So I'm
okay.
picking my favorite ones to come out in
Okay.
the bottom.
Okay.
So I like the idea of the vintage,
Mm-hmm.
the black and white,
Mm-hmm.
but also the hot pink.
Yeah. And the typewriter letters,
Yeah.
typography. Now, is it a scene or is it like random things on
Hmm.
paper with like some captions? Like,
I'm picturing,
depends on your style.
yeah,
I'm not a scene person.
I
I
want
can't
this.
draw a scene. And I
I
don't
was
look
picturing
correct.
a white background too, or like a solid background.
Ah,
But I kind of want this to be done in either like block printing or like risograph. I want like solid
risograph.
like prints of
Yes.
color.
Ah, that's cool.
Mm.
You all can do this assignment. Preparation transitions into completion. I'm seeing so much hot pink in social media. Yeah. Well, as women have a voice,
Mm.
yeah, pink is spot Pantone pink. Yeah. Yep. Um, because in my day, a long time ago, in illustration, you could not do pink. In fact, I was told once, can you make the colors more masculine? And it was just for a generic illustration in a magazine. But everything, it defaulted to men. If there was an article about something, the character or the people, if it's like a nonfiction piece on, I don't know, finance or technology or anything, you drew a man, white man. So it was, and I pushed the boundaries, of course, and I made my people multicultural. But block color printing course, well, is my
I would love that.
student here who's doing pitching a book on risograph? Is she here? Forget her name. Terrible. Shona.
Yeah.
Isn't it Shona?
Shona.
Vaughn something.
Yeah. Oh,
Shona. Hey,
yay.
Shona. Yeah,
We
you got
need
to
your
do.
book in the world.
Oh, we need that book. I'm serious. And now she's going to do it. Well, I won't give it away. Yeah, it's hot right now. So, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that
Funnel.
was
We
fun.
got to go. Maybe we'll do that. Oh, let's go after.
Let's do it.
Let's go. I hope
And
it's open.
I
We'll look in the
really,
window.
do you know who works there?
No, I've never been in.
If they're wearing hot pink at all,
Unreal.
yeah, we'll let you all know.
Yeah, yeah, we will post it. And this is fun. You see why I'm doing this? Here's another thing I want to talk to you about, okay? Career longevity. So
Mm,
you're starting with illustration. You were an art teacher.
reading teacher, but I do teach art now. It's
He
okay.
was a teacher.
I did teach after
Partial
school art
credit.
programs, so
Yeah,
yeah,
okay. You taught art.
same thing.
Yeah, and reading is like art in some way or
Exactly.
other.
The art of reading,
Saving my
science
house.
of reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the art of
Yeah.
you're reading words. Words are art. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So let's see, what was I going to say? So,
Career
career
longevity.
longevity.
This is such a big topic.
Is it?
I'm super curious to hear more
Okay,
about
what
this.
are you curious about? Tell me why.
Well, so it's been 2 years since I left my teaching job. And
Took guts.
yeah, it's definitely a risk, but I'm so happy that I'm where I am. But there are still moments where I think, well, how much longer can I really do this for?
Right.
How do I set myself up for success for
Mhm.
right now, but also for the future? Right? I
Mhm.
could hustle now and get a bunch of work,
Mm.
but I can't hustle forever. That's exhausting. I don't want to burn out.
Right.
So, how do I set things up so that right now I'm getting work, I'm growing, I'm
Mhm.
learning, and then I continue to grow more in the future? But it's that idea of not less work, but maybe you're like more well known, so you can take on higher paying jobs. You can bring some more balance, right? I
Mhm.
saw this thing about I left my 9 to 5 to work a 24/7. And I feel like that's what I'm doing,
Yeah, right.
right? Like I'm working
Right.
all the time. I'm always
Really?
doing things, just trying to like,
I know.
I don't
Well,
know.
that's the
You never want to
beginning.
miss an opportunity.
That's right. Well, so I closed my agency after 30 years in September, and I'm like, I have been doing every possible thing I could for so long to grow my businesses. Now you're telling me, I'm telling me I don't have to do everything to the nth degree to get work for my artists and to help my agency, the team, do everything they can to, and for to raise our profile and to get work and to schmooze with art directors and so forth. So that's a shift and that's cool. Man, I'm
Hmm.
loving it. So I can do things like this, people. Okay. Love that question. Type in if you can relate, just type relate if you can relate to what Katie's saying. And in the beginning, yes, you do have to do a lot, but it's exciting too,
It is. Like
isn't
I
it?
love it. I love what
So
I'm doing,
fun.
but I know it's not sustainable.
Right. Especially
Like
if you
20
want.
years from now, I don't want to still be
You
doing
won't be a
what I'm
beginner.
doing.
You will never be a beginner again, so savor this.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, look, a lot of relators.
Hmm.
So,
Quick note before we go on. Jen said the typewriter place is open until 5.
we're going.
Jen should come too
Oh, yeah.
if she's around.
Cambridge typewriter. But is that the one in Arlington? Because I drive by the one in Arlington, but I think I just heard the Cambridge. It is? Oh, okay. Text us after this show. Okay. Here's the thing. So I was asked to be a speaker like, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe for an icon conference in Philadelphia. Go Eagles. Anyway, Eagles. Um, I don't know, 20, I don't know, maybe 25. Well, it doesn't matter. Why am I even obsessing when it was? But I wanted to talk about career longevity then for illustrators, but they actually had me talk about licensing because everybody wanted to know about licensing. Please live stream your visit. Wouldn't that be good? Wow. I hope I don't buy a typewriter. Please don't let me.
You're not
Dear
going to be able
Lord.
to leave without buying one.
Stop. I have an
Okay, I'll
electric
try to
like
stop
Corona
you.
in the basement, and my husband has one too. And then I don't, you see the Susie Altman rainbow
Yeah.
suitcase? Behind that is this like toy
Oh,
fake
yeah,
typewriter.
I see it.
Oh my God. You want to get it down?
Yeah.
Can you reach it?
Yeah, I'll go get it.
She's tall, I'm short. So, um, so anyway, yeah, live stream. Wouldn't that be great? Type in where you all are. Type in where you're located. Thank you. I'm sorry to make you do that. Oh, it's really.
Want to knock over anything.
I know you're good. I would knock over everything
This
because
is so cute.
is that the coolest thing?
Yeah.
I know. What the
Look
hell
at
is
this.
that? I don't even know what it does. I just, of course I had to have it. And look it on the back.
Oh.
Look it on the back. And I think, right, I think you like turn this and then press down. Oh yeah.
Oh, and so you can press different
Oh
letters
my
because there's the whole alphabet
God.
on this round metal piece.
And then you
But these
go,
are all fake keys here.
yeah,
It's
this is
flat.
fake. Is that great? I guess it needed like a ribbon, right?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Oh, anyway, that's the great. You can
That's
just leave
cool.
it anywhere. Okay, career longevity. Here's the thing. I love that my career just goes from one thing to the next. So, first of all, you're at the beginning stages.
Mhm.
Really exciting. She gets successes along the way. In between, there's like not successes, I'm assuming, or something an
Yeah.
art director or an agent doesn't get back to her, whatever. But then she gets something really cool and that motivates her more. So you have to hang in, especially in the beginning. But what happens is you then get more opportunities. And the more you're out there and the more your work gets better. I always say, whenever I was a speaker or am a speaker, and people like, what's the best promotion? The best promotion, the best marketing is great art. The better your art, the easier it is. You send something out, you put your work out and you get work from it. So how do you make great work? By staying motivated, by going to the Cambridge typewriter shop or whatever. I swear, we have to draw a picture,
Yeah,
each
let's
of
do
us.
it.
Yeah, we'll bring our supplies.
Hmm.
So if you're older when starting, do you alter technique to make sure you can stay with it longer, less realism? That relies on steady hands. Okay, I'm going to make a little deviation right now because I want to tell you about this. So I don't love watercolor. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I'm teaching watercolor. I love watercolor. Okay. What I don't, what I really like is I love a fountain pen and I love my Ritmo charcoal pencil on my Arch 88 smooth paper because I can press.
Mm.
It's much easier for me to press down than a brush, which has the flexibility. That said, I love the flexibility of a brush, but it's a little harder for me because, and not just because I'm older, I think it always was to have that sort of fine motor, but you do get better with it. And I'm doing this really meticulous embroidery, and that's really helping my fine motor too. Okay, that's a little deviation, a little tange.
And I feel like working at different sizes too can be helpful for that, right?
Go
Because
on.
if you can work really large or really
Mhm.
small, whichever is more comfortable for you, if you're working large, you can scan it in and bring it down. And if you're
Mm,
working small, you can just scan it a higher quality and make it big.
yeah.
So maybe that's something that can help too.
Yes, yes, like and using a flat brush too. But I'm
Mm.
learning to do paint little tiny ears. Okay, so career longevity. Now I'm going to skip. So I think you might know my background. So I was an illustrator. First, I taught middle school when I was out of college. Then I was an illustrator and had a fabulous, fabulous career. Then I became an agent because my students asked me to be their agent. And I'm like, I'm getting clients call me every day for magazine illustrations and other work. I can give it to them, take a percentage. I have a baby. That's cool. And I already know contracts, negotiation, promotion, and everything. And I already had a base. So that just evolved
So were you
organically and beautifully.
always freelance on your own, or did you have an agent for yourself?
I was on my own, but then I got an agent in New York, but she just did advertising.
Okay,
So
so
I
just one
still did
market.
editorial
Okay.
magazine, and there was tons of magazines in the 80s and 90s. And then I got one in Tokyo, an agent in Tokyo, and an agent in Paris. And there was no internet
Casual.
yet, so cash, by the
Yeah.
way. So I got work from all those, but once there became the World Wide Web, you may have heard of it, then agents have pretty much worldwide exclusive for the world. Like my agency, we handled everything unless an artist was like French and she had French clients. We would either say, you can have France, or but we want these 5 clients or 15 clients that we already work with in France. So there's that. But typically it's different. It's worldwide, of course. But what was I saying? The theme
So
of this
then you
should be, what
took
was I
on
saying?
then
Should be the title, please. Not Lilla's
what were
art
we
test.
chatting about?
Yeah.
You can
What was
still
I
work the
saying?
word chat in there.
Yeah.
Then you started your agency, you had a baby, you could
Yes.
pass your work on.
Yeah, but I still did some stuff too. And that was wonderful. 30 years later. So, no, how many years later? I don't know. 30 minus 11. So, like maybe, so I did 20 years of the agency. Then 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was put together with Beth Kempton, who had just started doing e-courses. That was such a natural fit for me. I had a reputation and a brand as an agent, so she was fabulous. And she did all the like tech and background. She came here and filmed me. We had makeup artists and
So
the
fun.
film guy and light guy, and I sat and did stuff, and that was wonderful. So 11 years later, I'm doing mats like crazy. And then, but and I could go on and on. Like I have a column and I did a jewelry line and lots of stuff and speaking. But the thing is, one thing leads to the next, as my mother would
Mm.
always say. And thank you, Christy. One thing leads to the next. And the more but here's the underlying current to it all. We're going to Cambridge Typewriter. Why? Because we honor our passions.
Mm.
We're excited to do it. I know it's going to be cool. We're going to get some interesting stuff out of that. And then if we show it on social media, people will like it. That's good for our social media, more for her, but because I'm not necessarily trying to build up anything at this point. But I can tell you're all keyed up. Yes, Greg. So follow your passions, honor them, do good work, get it out there. That is the simple secret. And don't copy and don't think, oh, so and so's getting a lot of work. I should do it like them. I know that's not so easy, but you'll get there. Just keep staying with your stuff.
What I think so interesting about this is you talk about it in these chunks of time, like decades worth of time.
Right.
And
And there's
it's,
other things along the way too, but
yeah,
yeah.
but it's a, right, like you were a working artist
Hmm.
for a decade,
Yeah,
two.
a
I
decade
want,
before I started the agency.
and then it was like decades of the agency.
Right.
We just hit a decade of mats,
Right.
right? It's like all of these incredible things
Hmm.
that when you're at the beginning, you think, well, I'm in year two. So how am I supposed to know where I'm
I
going?
know.
But to just be able to hear you talk about all of that and
Mm,
hear how everything flowed in so naturally to the next
right.
step
Right.
is really reassuring
Oh, good.
because I don't have to have it all figured out
No,
right
you
now.
can't.
Yeah,
There's no figuring out
I can't put together a however many decade long
proposed.
plan,
Right.
right? That's not going to happen. I can have a general idea of things I'd like to do, markets I'd like to work in,
Right. Art
but
you'd like to make.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
just keep doing those things, and it sounds like
Hmm.
as time goes on and opportunities come up,
Hmm.
then you're ready for it because you've already been doing the work.
Totally. Yeah, I was asked to write a book. I'm looking at my book. So
Hmm.
that came along. That was about 12 years ago,
Do you want me to
before
grab it?
Matt's. What-
Do you want me to get it?
If, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Show and tell is always
Show
fun.
and tell. Follow the energy. Yeah, but you gotta get good at something. Get good at something.
My nails match
Oh,
it.
nice. And look at 12 years ago. So I did the cover. They did it. I'm like, yeah, I was. So I did the cover, but Susie Altman
It's
helped
cool.
me do the cover. Yeah, I wanted it spiral bound.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's all spiral
Yeah,
bound.
which they had been doing. And so I did a little piece of art. The designer was incredible. I was really happy. But Susie Altman helped me do the cover. She's brilliant. So it's all about, look, the Bolt Fabric Market. So
Mm.
then, okay, so I did all these markets and some other stuff. And then when I started Matt's, I already had 5 markets. So the first, I'm sorry, Matt's is Make Art That Sells, my e-course platform. I had 5 like videos we were going to do of each of the markets. So it made it very easy to do this, Ellen Dardick. So this was really the gift market interview with an art director at a magazine. Wild up. Yeah, I could just interview people. I knew a lot of people that I could interview. That was good. Oh, this was my when I got the cuffs. Okay, so here I am. Here's another way to go about it, all right? And don't worry if you're not, here's the making of a craft line. So don't worry if you don't have a plan. So on the side,
Don't
on
worry if you don't have a plan. I love that.
yeah,
You know, we can
don't
get
worry.
so caught up in it sometimes.
It's like what's that quote? Like when you make plans, Goddess laughs or something,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And
You just got to go with what comes.
yeah, so with my friend Sue, I call her Shiffy, we would like go to vintage bead shops and take like beading classes and this. The name of the book is I Just Like to Make Things,
Love it.
which is like totally my life, right? And it's out of print, sadly, but you can probably get like a used copy on Amazon. And okay, here's the thing. I would like to get this book now that I didn't have any social media following. Now I do. I could say, oh, why don't I like have them a new publisher or this publisher reprint it? Maybe I'll update it. But do I want to do that work? I
Mm.
don't right now. And I've written another book that's just sitting around, which I have other ideas for. So anyway, I'm doing these like jewelry pieces, and then I go to a conference and I it's for creatives in all different markets. And this is like 13 years ago, Creative Connection in Minneapolis. And I went up to one of the speakers afterwards and I said, like, how could I pitch my craft line? And she said, go to the Craft and Hobby Association conference, and it's in Anaheim next year, and show them your stuff and just say, I'd like to pitch my thing. And I did, and I pitched like three places, and one of them said yes, and then they did all these products, like cuffs. So that was a cool little deviation. That's my book.
Thanks for sharing it.
Oh, so fun. That was
Talking
great to do.
about pitching at conferences, I feel like is another topic that could be really interesting
Okay.
because there was just the SCBWI,
Yeah.
Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators Conference.
Very good. I know.
Think I said it right.
Mhm.
In New York. I don't know if anybody was there, but I saw it all over social media. And then there's the
Oh,
Bologna Children's Book
right.
Conference that is
Which you're
coming
going
up.
to.
I'm going to that.
Hmm.
Um, so I would be curious to hear, so I know you've pitched work at
Hmm.
those conferences because
I
that's
picked
how
that
this.
jewelry.
Have you been on the receiving end of conferences like that where people pitch to you?
Oh, I
Do you have
mean,
advice for any of us artists?
good one. Oh, I mean, as an agent, I got pitched constantly for decades. And um, well, the first thing to do is look at the person's with Shiffy, is look at the website of the company or the
Mhm.
agent or whatever, and see, are they accepting submissions, if you can find that out, or see whatever. So if you um, one great thing is to see what they're publishing or making or representing as an agent, and excuse me, know a little something about them, and then you go to them and say, I love these artists you represent, or I love the vibe of your agency, or I mean, you do the coolest crafts, and oh my God, I own so many, or whatever. If it's true, don't lie. You don't ever have to lie to succeed. You don't have to be dishonest to succeed. I've never been dishonest. I've never done, high road always. High road. How do you find the agencies? You can just Google illustration agencies. Now they have Google nowadays.
There's some big book too. I don't know if anybody knows the name of it, but it's something
The
like Children's and
oh,
Writers Publish, the yearbook
marketplace,
of
yeah,
something like that. And
right.
then if you go
The
on the
chil
Bologna Children's Book Fair website, they also list all the agents and
that are going to be
all the
there.
publishers that will be there. They don't always have the contact information, but you can at least
Yeah,
see.
can
But
Google.
it's like hundreds, so it's a lot
That's
if you
great.
really want to look through all of them.
That's great. Yeah. So, and keep it short and sweet. Don't give background. And when you're showing, if they say, "Oh, sure, show me what you have," if you have something they can take away, a little printed thing. Oh, that's
The business cards?
no. Oh, I'm going to show our takeaways that Kim gave out at
Mm.
Bologna.
Oh, yeah, that'd
And
be
it,
really cool.
yeah, but you know what? I'm going to show that in color class on Friday.
Okay, nice.
So I have to keep track of, wait, got to,
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
that special. Children's writer,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a great one for you.
Thanks, Rose. Um,
You give,
Rose, sorry, I'm just excited for her
yeah.
because her third Tiny Dog book just came out. So if anybody's looking for a
Oh, really?
really cute and sweet read,
Oh, that's
yeah.
wonderful. Hi, Rose. So, Jan, are you Jan Schmidt? Oh, Jan came up here Saturday because she lives in Connecticut, which is 2 hours away. But I was so happy to meet her. Look what she brought me. Is this the this was a chocolate, is a chocolate box. Um, oh yeah, make sure when you scroll down and in the chat, make sure the blue thing doesn't say hosts and panelists. It should say everyone. Just press on it. So she brought me this. This is the most beautiful thing. And no, I do not require gifts if you visit me. Chocolate.
There's one chocolate left over on the table.
Yeah, that's going to be gone soon. I'll tell you that right
They
now.
were really good.
Really good. Um, I like how you can see the flower in the middle.
Yeah, it's so
Because
pretty.
usually I sit in the middle so you can't see that.
Yeah.
That is pretty. Okay, so that's a career in a nutshell. So when you show the agent or whomever, have a giveaway. Oh,
Oh,
thank you,
that's so
Adrian.
nice.
When and I really want to do another book. I really do, but it's like, what can I really now I'm at the point where I pick and choose. I'm telling you that not to brag, but to tell you that's how it goes. I have so many different opportunities, and what I love is teaching now. Always have, always taught. And doing this now with Katie is such a dream for me because I don't have to really do much. We show up, we chat. She got me set up on Substack. I didn't put the link in today, but then, and then you know who
Hmm.
WhatsApped me? Adam. He said, "Oh, this is great, but
That's
there's
so
not a link." I
nice.
know. I'm
Thank you,
like,
Adam.
I said, in my defense, I was left unsupervised. I have a pin that says that. So,
Well, thank you for having me to do this with.
oh, it's so
It's such a
fun.
pleasure.
It's so great. And look what we're offering the
I know this
people.
is so cool.
And one thing will lead to the next.
Mm.
She will get things from this. I will get things from this, probably. Not that I'm looking to, but anything you do gets out there in the world. Okay, so what was that's the name of this chat. What was I saying? That should be the name of my whole brand. Like my book, I just like to make things. And then the other should be, what was I saying? Because I have a lot to say. I want to tell you that the whole thing. Oh, yeah, yeah. So you're approaching an agent or an art director, and if you have a visual for them, you can give it to them. Say, I'd love you to have this. And don't say, so, um, I like to paint butterflies with flowers around, and I like to use soft colors. Don't describe the work. We know, we can see. Just compliment and R2 with a three wing in the enneagram. Angela, what does that mean? What does that mean?
An Enneagram, it's like a personality type, I
I
think. I
know, but
haven't done
what's.
it, so I don't know what it means.
Oh, hi, Brenda. Yeah, oh. So, don't describe your art and just say thank you so much for your time and then vibe out if you should, like if they're wanting to move on to the next person.
So you think it's more important to it's like give art that give
Mm-hmm.
some of your best work
Right.
that
Mm-hmm.
aligns with the company, and
Right.
then to just like have a conversation with them, not necessarily about the type
Well,
of art you like to make.
yeah, not
Like
about the
try to
art.
make a personal connection with them.
Yeah, you
That's
could do
better.
that, or just, yeah, that's well put. Or you can just do, I'd love to work with your company, or
Mm.
may I send you some samples, or
Ooh, that's great because then you can get a point of contact for the
right,
future.
right.
Yeah.
Or if they're an agent, I love your agency and I would love representation. How might
Mm-hmm.
I go about that?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, oh, just send something. Go to my website and you'll see the submissions page.
It's great advice.
And so your
So
turn.
Angela said that it means that you're a giver slash performer. Yeah, this seems like you. Thinking about the whole career you just talked about, it feels like that sums it
Yeah.
up.
And I was
That's pretty
shy.
cool.
When I was young, I was really, really, really shy.
No,
100%.
really.
100%.
What do you think changed?
Um, um, mm, age, confidence,
Mm.
and uh, getting. I'll just not talk about my childhood, but I had more opportunity to express myself, and I love sharing, and I love getting older.
Mm,
And I tell you this because I want you to not dread getting older.
mhm.
Get your exercise, get your sleep, eat right. Okay, Mom. God, Mom, stop.
We'll always take your advice, Lilla.
Thank you. You got to stay healthy, people, as best you
Mhm.
can. It's not perfect. Getting on
When I get
the,
a creative block, one of the best things I
yeah,
find is to go on a walk or exercise,
100%.
you know?
Oh, yeah. And we were talking about procrastination and all that. And I do my best work after my workouts.
Mm.
I wrote my book. I had a trainer at a gym, go to the gym, bring my laptop, and afterwards go to the coffee shop and do my book because my brain was just so good then. And I do try to do my best work after working out.
And it's good to be aware of that, right? So
Hmm.
then you can kind of plan your day. Oh, I'm gonna work
Yes,
out, carve out time to do this creative work,
right.
and then you're efficient with the work too.
Hmm. And then there's like work that doesn't require like to do a great piece of art. I have to be really awake and alert and rested. Um, but like puttering in the studio, tidying up, getting my dirty coffee cup out and in the water glass, like that you can do when you're not at your best.
Mm.
So figure out when is your best energy. That's what I figured out many years ago, and that's when I did my art. And you only need like 2 hours to do a piece of art, maybe an hour and a half of clear, good energy to do your artwork. If you're working on a piece and it's just not happening, if you can, think about your energy level, stop working, and find out when you're going to have your best energy, and then do the piece.
I feel like this goes back to what we touched on very early on. It was procrastination
Yes, go on.
because I have definitely been forced to do work whenever I'm not at my best.
Okay.
And then it just takes so long
Yeah.
and you're not happy with it.
Now, why are you
But
forced to do it when you're not at your
because
best?
I've procrastinated too long and then it's the deadline, you
Okay.
know?
And
So if
okay.
you can really take a step back,
Mm-hmm.
I'm someone who loves like reflect and organize and like schedule
Mm-hmm.
everything. But if I miss part of the schedule or it has to like be pushed, then I have a hard time getting back on track.
Explain.
So I guess how it connects to this is I feel like a lot of creative people were doing a million things all at once. So if we can find when our best times are
Mm-hmm.
and then really make it sacred time
Sacred.
and be like, we have to create
Mm-hmm.
from whatever, like in the morning, or maybe you're a night owl and you work at
Mm-hmm.
night, but like you know you have to do it at that time.
Right.
But sometimes it's hard to keep that space sacred.
Yeah, I think I put it in my book too. So you have to make yourself want to sit in the chair, right?
Mm.
Get your ass down in the chair. So I've talked about this, right? It won't reach my coffee warmer. So I have a coffee warmer at, and actually 4 places in my house because I do different things in each one. There's one right here. There's one at my art table. So I make a cup of coffee,
Mhm.
which I so enjoy. The name of my new book, it's not out. It's just written, but I have, Matt's has a plan for it. We'll get to that. Can't say. So then I sit down, but before I do it, when I was an illustrator, the night before, I would think about what I was
Mhm.
going to do.
Mhm.
And I would work it out in my head a little bit and be like, oh, I really am excited to make some smudge in French ultramarine blue. Yeah, wait, the whole thing is going to be blue. And then I'm going to put like this yellow over here. For me, it was very color oriented. Um, so think of something that excites you that will get uh, your serotonin going, your adrenaline going. It will give you energy. Put on some music and jump around and dance for 5, 10 minutes. Couple songs, get the blood, the brain, the
Mhm.
oxygen, and then sit down. And even the night before, you lay out the paper or the iPad and the whatever you're going to need. Make yourself a kit. Why do we love kits? I look at kits all the time. I'm like, oh, I want to buy that embroidery kit or like you can, oh, that's art supply kit. Lilla, Why don't you just go in the studio and make a kit of your own? Like something you haven't used for a while. Actually, now I really want to do that.
Yeah, that's actually a really fun idea.
I know, and
Yeah, just
that,
like set up all of these different kits, and then when you want to do something different, they're
right.
already ready to go.
Love that. We should do that
Yeah.
next time. Yeah. We're,
Another
yeah. No, you go.
another little trick that I've learned is if you're really excited about a project, but you're like kind of coming to the end of your working time, just start a little bit. And then you're so excited to get back to your desk the next
Yes.
day and you like can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when I'm in that state of energy. You're just like, I can't wait to start this, and then you're just in the flow state.
And
So
never,
nice.
you're reminding me, never stop when you hate the piece
Mm.
or when it sucks. Do not, you won't go back. Yeah, it's all these tricks, and you don't have to learn them all right away or do them all or figure them out. You will figure them out and know that the more art you do, the better you get. It's that simple.
So I was just looking at Brenda's comment there about being a mom, and we also have a question in the Q&A box about juggling kids
Oh,
and career, and that was on our list of questions from last time too. Seems like today it
mm,
could work to talk about because we're talking about career longevity,
okay.
and
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
it fits
It's
perfect.
something I'm
That's
really
why she's
curious
the
about
boss of the
too.
questions. Yeah. Okay, so how the heck? So what's the question? What would you say?
How do you do
How the
it?
hell do you do it? Well, I thought being an agent would be easier than being an illustrator because I wouldn't need that like hours of intense focus time. Um, but and it was initially. But anyway, but they're both, they're both totally doable. Um, so here's the thing when you have kids. First of all, there's three people that are really important in the relationship that each have value. The child, and many women get sucked into the child being everything. And then there's you, and then your spouse, if there is a spouse or partner or whomever. And they're all equally important. You can't just focus on the child and neglect yourself or your relationship. You have to really, each one matters. I found that my husband, as an ER doctor, could not change his schedule. It was set in stone 2 months in advance. And if I had a big job and a deadline, he couldn't stay home and watch the baby. And that wasn't going to change no matter, I could argue, I could plead. No, face the facts. Those are the facts. So I got childcare because you need childcare if you're going to have a career. I think we all know that by now. But 30 years ago, that was like, there's all kinds of crap. So you definitely want childcare as much as you can afford. I love being an illustrator and having a kid because I was home, even with the childcare. Um, and I could be there, but I still did my work.
And
What else do you want to know?
we were talking about this because I think it's a question a lot of people have, right? This kind of how do you balance career
Yeah,
and family? And so we have been talking about this a different day. I don't think it was on the
on the thing
camera. Yeah, but you said something that was really nice and it's kind of been replaying in my
we
mind.
did.
And you said that because I was worried that I'll lose my art, that I won't have time for it,
That's
or
terrifying.
that
You lose
family
yourself.
just becomes so important that
Right,
like that's the focus.
right.
And for some people, that is what they want to do, and everyone should do what they want.
Hmm.
But right now, at this moment, I'm scared that I would lose it. And you
Yeah.
said, no, you won't, because it's your passion. It's something you love.
Hmm.
And, you're not gonna just put aside something that you love. And so I,
Oh,
I found a lot of comfort in that, right?
good.
It's very much tied, art is very much tied to my identity.
Has been your whole life.
Yeah, so it's not
You're
just
gonna,
gonna
and guess
disappear.
what? You're gonna be so glad you have it.
Hmm.
Especially like people who had full time. Yeah, think like a man. Yeah. I and this was 30 years ago, but women that had full-time jobs were like, you're so lucky you have flexibility. And I didn't know what they meant, but like I guess if my kid was sick,
Mm.
Um, you will be so glad you have an outlet that you love. Because if you have a job and then you quit your job and you have a baby, then you what you do in that case is you find a passion. Maybe you take maths classes, and a lot of people do that to stay connected to art and to work on their art and so forth if you don't have an illustration career right off the bat. But you will be so grateful that you have something you're passionate about. It's great. Yeah,
And so I think that's,
you won't lose it.
yeah, that kind of
You
sums it
won't.
up. If
Yeah.
it's something that I
Hmm.
love or the other people who are asking these questions in the chat, like it's not going to go away. We're going to hold on to it and we can do both.
About Brenda says about 5 years ago, I asked Lila how to balance my crazy mom life and art. Lila, you said, would a man ask that? And honestly, it changed my life. I stopped asking for permission to make art and live my life. I paved the path and made time from then on. Absolutely. You're as, yeah. Lena, when I started writing, I gave myself half a day a week to work on my book, and it was a fixed day, and I would ignore if there was
Mm,
washing to be done or I wasn't perfectly clean or the dishwasher was full. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will never start. As my child grew older, I had more time for my art. That's absolutely true. Do you want to be known for your housekeeping or your art? I'm certainly not known for my housekeeping. I literally do not know. In fact, my kids just asked my husband, and I was there, does mom know how to use the washing machine? And he said, no, I don't. Okay, are you shocked? Like, there are men that don't know how to use the
yeah,
washing
I was gonna
machine.
say that's also can be
Yeah,
considered radical, right?
I'm totally
Like,
proud of it. My husband puts the laundry in the washing machine, and then we have a person, once our cleaning person comes and puts the laundry away. Okay. Now you may say, Lila, I can't afford that. You know what? I didn't always have money. And even when I was in New York and I was paying my rent and I lived frugally, but I paid everything, got by. I was single. Um, I did have laundry service where they come in New York, they'd pick your laundry up
nice.
and then they'd wash it and fold it and bring it back to you in a duffel bag. Because I could then be in my studio in NoHo making art, sending out samples, sending out work. And I thought will make more money the 2 hours somebody came to clean my apartment every 2 weeks, so it wasn't disgusting. um, I made more money to pay for that and then some and build my career. So you just have to make these decisions. I think it's not like it was in the old days where it was just like so sexist. It was unbelievable, but I know I like to push against a boundary. So, I
That's
mean,
what we love about you.
thank you.
I love Lena's idea of having a dedicated day. And you know what? Laundry piles up for a day, dishwasher, whatever. That's your
Yeah,
day. You can get
yeah,
done the next day.
that's right.
I'll probably take that advice, Lena. And
Yeah, and when you get a big gig, stock up on food in the fridge and the
mm,
freezer. Um, Take yourself seriously. Do what you need to do to create. Just pretend like you're famous. Like pretend you're Stephen King or something. Do you think he worries about the laundry? I don't know why I thought of that, but you know what I mean?
yeah, I never thought about
Like,
it.
is he like thinking, oh my God, the dishes?
Hmm,
Well, I'm sure he has like a staff of thousands by now, but he didn't start that way. You just have to, take your work seriously. But Lila, I'm really not that good and I'm not getting that much work. Lena Jacob says it worked for me. 5 books are published.
that's amazing.
Yay.
Congrats.
Yay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever you spend time on is what you value. And so I started to say, you may say to yourself, well, my work isn't that great, so I can't really justify getting childcare or this or that. Yeah, but your work is only going to get great if you have the time.
That's true.
Nobody starts out with great art. Nobody. Trust me. I've taught artists who become famous artists, and they didn't start out great. They worked at it.
I do think a lot of it is about practice.
Hmm.
Even when you see artists who have like a really simplified style,
Hmm.
some people think that's so easy, but
Hmm.
it's not. Like
Hmm.
the number of hours,
Hmm.
thousands of hours
Oh,
that went
fast.
into honing it, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just about practice.
When I taught middle school art when I graduated from college, and I remember the kids said to me, Lilla, how did you get so good at drawing? And I said, I don't watch TV. That was back when. And it's kind of true. I mean, look, believe me, I love shows and but a lot of artists do podcasts.
Yeah.
Was there another question?
Yeah. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
So this is from Annalise. I
Mm.
know art is part of me and I cannot not do it, but I have a problem making it a priority. Somehow I still let my kids and family go first and I'm the last in the row. I do this myself. Do you have tips on how I can value myself and prioritize myself?
Mm. You go first.
I feel like some of the things people have mentioned here, I don't have kids, so I can't exactly speak to what it is to have a whole family take care of. But I love Lena's idea if you can set aside a day or maybe even a few hours if a whole day is feeling like a hard place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, what Lila's saying, if you can delegate certain tasks,
Mm-hmm.
cleaning, or maybe people in the neighborhood can help with school pickup. Who knows?
Yes.
I feel like the idea of it takes a community, takes a
Yeah. And you
village.
can swap childcare too.
Mm.
Like I'll take your kid and my kid for, the afternoon, and then next afternoon you take my kid.
I also, not from the family side, but whenever I was first taking maths classes and,
Mhm.
I had these assignment deadlines, I felt silly sometimes for not going to hang out with friends or do something because I wanted to practice and do this
Mm.
art. But once I started telling my friends, I'm not gonna come out to lunch today. I want to finish this art assignment. It's the only time I have all week to work on it because I was working full time. So I really just had the weekends.
Yeah.
And they totally respected it. And it made me
Oh.
see myself as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I began to value myself as an artist and prioritize making some art, was
Mm-hmm.
just letting my people know it was important to me and that I was going to carve out time for it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And if they don't get it, and you can just say, "Oh, damn, I wish I could, but I have so much to do." So you don't even have to get into justifying or explaining. Um, you can also turn your kids into artists and they can work alongside of you, says Rose. Greg, I've found in life some friends are there to help. I just have to be brave enough to ask.
Mm.
Yeah,
Asking
well,
for help is hard. That's a good
it
one,
it
Greg.
is hard,
Yeah.
but Greg, everybody loves you, so they want to help you. Weekend deadlines are harder. Yeah, so you carve out time, and I mean, for me, and I don't know if this still applies, but I thought of my brother when I was in my early 20s, and like he acts differently. He was older, 2 years older. He takes himself very seriously, and his career comes first, and this and that. And I'm like, I guess no one is going to tell me to take myself seriously but me. I
Mm.
have to take myself seriously and put that first. I don't know if that has value to you, but it was profound for me. And I used him or other men as models. How are they behaving? What are they doing? Are they putting themselves first? And I think some men put themselves first at a detriment to their social emotional health and to helping others and caring for others, which is so rewarding. But it's important to not feel less than, and don't feel bad for feeling less than, because the culture does everything to, when the more qualified woman isn't elected
Mm.
over, a rapist, women get a message that the women are less than in our culture. Okay, I had to squeeze that in.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
I think we're all on the same page here.
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
Just even the things that would come up with the headlines about her versus, the other guy. It's like
Right,
these are not,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
So we internalize that,
mhm.
as do people of color too. They internalize even more stuff that it makes less than. So, understand, read feminist literature, read powerful stuff that will help you understand where it's coming from. And when I was young, I just listened to music by women, Bonnie Raitt, Joni Mitchell. There weren't many. Um, and I read books by women, and I just really tried to surround myself by powerful women to give me that strength. That's what I did. It's different now. It's much better. It was hard to find a strong woman then.
Yeah, it is better. Watching
Hmm.
the so
Yeah.
last night was the Super Bowl for football in the US,
Mm.
and there were a few ads that were about empowering women, but part of me was like, haven't we done this yet? And because I remember, do you remember a Dove commercial that came out maybe 10 years ago or so? And it was all about play like a girl. Did you ever
Oh,
see
right,
this?
right.
And there were all these young girls,
Hmm.
maybe like 5, 6, 7, and they're like, what does it look like to play like a girl? And they like punch as hard as they can, throw the ball as hard as they
Hmm.
can, run as fast as they can. And
Hmm.
then they ask teenagers, and the teenage girls go like, uh, they just like,
They've
they
learned to
lose
they've
the
learned to be less than.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
But there was a
powerful.
Dove commercial last night
Yes.
as one of the ads, and there was a little girl who was running as fast as she
Oh,
could
I
down the
saw
street. Did
that.
you
That
see it?
little, yeah, she's like
Yeah, and she's
2 feet
like,
tall, 3 feet tall.
yeah.
Yeah.
But she was like giving it her all, and her face was all scrunched up, and she was focused.
Yeah.
And
Going
I
fast.
don't remember exactly what it said, but it was kind of the same message of like, don't let her lose this. Like, let's
Mm.
continue to build her up.
Yeah. What was the second part of it? Then what was it?
I don't
I
remember,
forget too. I just remember that girl.
but
Maybe
yeah.
somebody in here knows.
But there was another one
Mhm.
too about getting flag football recognized as a
Oh, yeah.
varsity sport.
Right.
And it was like, okay, this is great, but what about regular football? But it's like you have to start somewhere.
Right.
I don't know. It's just interesting. Like I was really happy to see those
Hmm.
things, but
Hmm.
it's just something we have to keep working towards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
Debbie
sure.
said girls' body image. That might have been what the Dove one was about.
Mm.
Another important topic.
You know, oh man.
So, I guess what we're saying is just because if you're a woman
Hmm.
and you have a family,
Hmm.
doesn't mean that you shouldn't even have to think about losing your art or your career. But
Right.
it is something that's put on us, but
Mm.
don't feel like you have to fall into that.
Right.
And if you are, you have your whole art community. We're all here to help
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
find ways to keep your art precious.
Yeah, and fortunately, I didn't meet my husband till I was already a very established illustrator. I was in my late 30s, and nobody was going to minimize me. And you know, um, even the doctor, and I told myself early on, Lily, you're going to have to fight for. He's a wonderful man, please, but he's a man in our culture. I knew I had to fight for what was important to me and really think through, Lila, what really matters. And I wasn't going to lose my career I had built up so hard for my whole life. And no one is, you have to be clear on that so that other people will see you that way too. But there's no reason you have to lose. I never did.
Mhm.
I love it. And also, it's a great role model for your kids. So they see, thank you, Kelly. It's a great role model. You're showing your kids uh, it's going to affect how they're raised or how they'll see themselves, whatever gender they identify with, too, as a woman who is puts herself on equal footing to men or others. Yeah, it's all good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you, Greg. He's a cutie. Um, well, I think that's an hour. I
Yeah,
think we could stop.
yeah.
What do you think? I
That felt
think,
like a deep one today.
oof. Oh, you feel rejuvenated. Well, see, and here's the thing about this. So when I looked over at Katie like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh my God, we have to do Substack together. It just feels magical. And we went with that impulse. We made this whole thing happen. No one's paying us. We're not doing it. Just we're doing it because we love it. I will promise you, when you do something you love, you don't even know what's going to come your way. I don't even need anything to come from this. This in and of itself is a joy for me.
Hmm.
And I have so much I want to share with my followers. That said, it's just like going to the typewriter store, you know?
Yeah.
So did you see no one's there? They're not answering the phone?
Oh no. Did Jen say that she called or something?
Yeah,
Oh, bummer.
I know.
Well, we can put it on the list for the future. But
Yeah. I
everyone's
wonder if we
saying,
ring the bell, maybe.
oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're out for lunch.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. We'll try again.
Tuesday to Saturday. Oh, today's Monday.
Oh,
Hmm.
I can't believe they're,
Well,
well, that
we'll schedule our
sucks.
next chat
On a
for Tuesday through
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I see everyone in the chat saying that they're feeling inspired and like
Good.
confident. And that's how I feel after this conversation with you too. And just
Good.
thank you for sharing all of this
Thank
with
you.
everyone and welcoming me to be a part of it.
My
It's been
buddy.
great.
Well, you can tell how much I enjoy it too. And I love your comments. I love the generational thing because then you get the perspectives and things I forget. Like, oh, yeah, what was it like when I started out? Did I do dishes? I don't remember. I did, but I wasn't known for my housekeeping. Anyway, well, thank you, everybody. I'm so glad you enjoy these. And the main thing is follow your passions. Honor your passions, follow your passions. Don't belittle them. Don't think it's a dumb idea. Go with it. Budget time to make things happen. Find your best energy, even if it's an hour. Just make art for that hour. Put on music, get your beverage in your favorite cup. If you're, you know, make the whole environment a treat for you. Art is fun. Okay, well, no, we won't be next week. This gal, tell him where you're going and why.
So I'm going to India, which is super exciting.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, going for 2 weeks. Got married this past fall, but there were some family members in India who couldn't come, so we're gonna go and have a little thing over there. It's gonna be really fun. But
Amazing.
that means, no
No,
art chat, but
no
we'll
art
pick them
chat.
back up again in March.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I may bop on and do one, but
Okay.
I kind of doubt it.
Well, you should.
I should, but
It would be fun.
yeah, but I don't think I will.
Okay. Whatever you want
Because
to
I like having the
do.
time. If she shows up at my door, I'm gonna, it makes it happen. See, that's the other thing. What will make your thing happen? Her showing up at my door and we have a plan and we do it. Okay. If I say I'm going to do this sometime, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm being honest with myself. But anyway, we want to hear all about India.
Mhm.
Do you want to Zoom from India?
I mean, maybe we could
That'd be
see.
amazing. You see, you're going to probably be so busy, but if you want, you let me know.
All right.
What is it like 10-hour time difference?
Yeah, they're actually on, well, Mufti was here before. I don't know if she's still here. We could ask her what time it is.
Oh yeah.
But they're actually on a half-hour difference so that the entire country is on one time zone. So it's like
Oh,
9.5 or a 10.5 hour difference from here. It's something like that.
oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, we can see
It would be 11:30 in
11:30.
India right
Okay.
now. Wait, PM. Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we'll
You
see.
see if you want.
Yeah.
That'd be fun if you walk around like some like shops and fabric
Mm.
and
I'll at
oh,
least take pictures and
okay.
videos. We'll see.
Okay.
Because I definitely want to
No
do some
pressure.
sketching when I'm there.
Yeah.
But travel sketching always feels hard if you're with people who aren't artists,
Right.
Then you're like, oh, how can I
Well,
sketch all this?
if you're sitting you're all sitting in a cafe and eating,
Yeah.
and you tell them, this is for your career, for your job. You
It
need
all
to
comes
do it.
back to what we were just talking
Yeah,
about, right?
absolutely.
How
And
do you
you,
prioritize
yeah,
yourself?
I'm gone for 2 weeks, but I have some work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, we will sign off, and that's it, right?
Yeah, I think
Just
that's it.
click bye.
All
Bye,
right. Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.